Hi, so this is the adjustable mask clip. So it's actually relatively easy to use. The idea being you would want to get something like a quarter-inch elastic strap, like this. And you would sew the clip onto the mask, like in the corner. You can ignore this. This was a previous attempt. So you'd sew the clip here onto the mask. You can use any of the three holes here, or depending on your mask design, if you actually have like a strap, you can use the strap hole here and actually just kind of sew in a loop around it to hold it that way. So whichever one works best for you. I made sure to accommodate both. So when you print, it's going to be flat, and the tricky part is you have to push this part here in. So I would advise using, you can use a screwdriver to kind of like crack it and push it up. It's going to have to flex a bit. You might want to print some redundancy. Sometimes the plastic's going to crack when you do it. This is just PLA, just a PLA plastic that I'm using here. Of course, as a big warning is if you're using PLA and these are meant to be disinfected, PLA does have a low deformation temperature, like even at about 100 degrees, it's going to start warping. So if you're putting this on something that you need to put into a high temperature washer, then perhaps using the strap hole here and like have a Velcro or a clip or something that you can take this off when you need to. So once you push this through and kind of like you're going to have to, it's going to bend a little and it's going to get over these little teeth over here. If you do, like I said, you can use a screwdriver. Be careful with the screwdriver. You can use a butter knife. You can use anything. Just, again, be very careful. Don't be too fast with it because it will crack. It'll have a propensity to crack. Take your quarter-inch elastic strap here and just kind of fit it in through here, like this. Just grab it. Here you go. And now, so this is important. You want it to come out at the same angle as the, as kind of like this thing, right? So, and now you just basically fit this to your face. So I put it on both sides of the mask. Make sure you have like some extra elastic when you do this. Wrap it around your head, and then you just pull on this until it fits snugly. And it should actually hold its place fairly well. Now, it's not load-bearing, so don't use this to hold anything in place. This is enough to hold a mask to your face fairly tightly, but it's not enough to hold a lot of weight. If you find that it's a little too slippery, I mean, theoretically, these can be designed with sharper teeth, but I found with a standard FDM printer, it was only so light I could get to make sure that it worked on most people's printers. So in this case, if you do really need it to dig in a little deeper, you can use like a small needle file on the teeth here and on the teeth inside here. And that will help, that'll help kind of grip it more. But for most people, even with this amount of slack, so long as you, again, even if you like press it down a little, it should be enough to hold your mask to your face. Now, I guess, and again, if you like press it down a bit, it kind of, it does really not want to move. And this is just standard elastic polycord from a craft shop. You can get these at pretty much any fabric or craft shop, or even some dollar stores that have a craft section. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I do advise about 4 of them on a standard, this is an Olsen pattern face mask. I do advise at least 4 of them because you're going to want one underneath and over and underneath each of the ears so that it has a snug fit. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the whole thing. And again, you can ignore this. This is the original elastic on this Olsen mask, as I was kind of experimenting with this. You do not need to use an ear loop if you are using these as well. This is kind of to take that place. The main advantage being, of course, that you can, if you are making these masks for multiple people, if you are making this for a healthcare area, like a hospital, usually they'll do their own elastic. So check with them to see if they actually want this. But if you're doing it for friends, family, caregivers, stuff like that, And they want, this allows you to kind of make a one-size-fits-all mask that would allow you to basically do the same for everyone, and then they can just fit it to their heads as needed by just pulling on this elastic once it's fit through their head. That's about it. Feel free to download and share this file. I am opening it up to the world amidst this crisis. So if you have any improvements you want to make on the design, please tag me or let me know, and I'll promote it as much as I can as well. This is actually one of my first attempts at designing anything like this. So I'm sure some of you probably have better ideas and better ways to do this. If you do, just let me know, and I'll link to it or what have you, assuming that the site that you upload it through doesn't do it automatically. So cheers, and stay safe out there.